What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your latest favorite YouTube channel. Today, we are celebrating a victory over Zenit in the Champions League for Juventus. Another 3 points, I guess you could say, in the UCL standings. But more importantly, Juventus has sealed their position to move on and join the other teams once they confirm their status in the round of 16 as well. With 2 games in hand, a lot to celebrate, a lot to be happy about. But we can't forget about the dark cloud and the shadow that has followed over Juventus in the Serie A and what has happened recently. But for now, let's rate these players and see how they did today. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is November 2nd, 2021. It may be November 3rd where you are by the time this video drops. But anyway, it's still match day here in the United States for me. We're going to go through these player ratings and give you the ratings of what we thought, the way they performed, how we rated them, and then some of the things that they did well or poorly overall in today's performance. But first of all, I do want to talk about how fun and excited it was to watch this game, to actually be able to enjoy some of it. I will be honest, the first half was not the most enjoyable for me overall. When I was watching that, I was thinking more of the same, especially when we talk about the Retiro and all the situation that went along with that. The nonsense, if it really did happen, I don't know. There's some comments by Allegri that make me question. I don't know exactly all that was reported and the way that it really was handled, but whatever. Something clicked, at least for this game. The problem is it is Zenit. Let's be honest with ourselves. This is Zenit. This is not even some of the higher mid-level Serie A clubs that they're playing against. So you have to take a little pinch, maybe a rock-size pebble of salt with what we're doing here in celebrating this win against Zenit. But the real showdown will tell us on Saturday how well they're doing going into the international break. But let's talk about the players, the way they performed, and what I wanted to get to is just really wanted to say, especially in a match that showed Juventus scoring 5 goals. Yes, only 4 of them counted for Juventus, but the Juventus players did score 5 goals. Bonucci, we're looking at you. We're going to talk about that in a second. Anyway, let's just go ahead and jump into these ratings, and we can tell you about how everybody performed, and then, of course, you can go battle me on what you believe was wrong that I said today. First of all, let's jump into, we got Waishak Chesney, the goalkeeper. Well, he performed. I gave him a 6 overall rating. Didn't feel like he really had that much to do for a lot of the game. There were a couple moments where he had to make a few saves, but really overall, the defense, specifically the next guy we're going to talk about, really stepped up and did a pretty good job, outside of one moment. But anyway, he gets a 6 from me. 3 saves, 1 high claim, 1 save from inside the box, 1 error that did lead to a shot. So that has to be accounted for. And then he had 5 accurate long balls. Overall, solid performance from our guy, Waishak Chesney. Nothing to look down upon for the most part. Let's move on to our next guy. And this is the guy that I really want to give a lot of credit. We were really, here at the Bianconeri Zone, we agreed that he did a really good job overall, stepping up, especially on that right side overall. And that is Danilo. He was chasing down balls. He was stopping guys early. He had a lot of hustle. We gave a 6.5 rating overall from what we saw from him. If you look at it, if you go, and we don't have the graphic up, unfortunately, but if you look at his heat map, he was all over the place on the right side. He was killing it today. He had 4 clearances. He had 1 interception, 1 tackle. He had 1 ground duel 1, another aerial duel 1. He had 3 key passes, 4 accurate long balls, and overall, just a solid performance from Danilo. Give him a lot of credit. Overall, the defensive staff have been really good throughout this season. Got to give them credit. They're not really, while there's a couple moments that may not be up to what we want, they've overall played fairly well. Let's go on to Delict. I gave him a 6 overall rating. He had a solid performance, but a lot of this is one of those more you can play what you're given, what you're handed with. And with Zenit, how much are you really handed? How big of a task is a team like Zenit? How worried are you going to be? How many, shots, attempts, whatever you're going to have to really stop? And that's really kind of what a lot of these ratings go for. Delict got a 6 overall rating. He had 4 clearances, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle, 1 ground duel, 1, 3 aerial duels, 1, and 1 accurate long ball, as well as 1 shot blocked that he had taken. Overall, again, solid performance. 6 is a good rating. It's just overall I don't think there was as much to do as really you would expect, especially for that 4-2 final line that they had here. It's a little bit more misleading than maybe it should be, if that makes sense to you guys. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We got to talk about it, and that is Leonardo Bonucci. Some of you guys may, I don't know, I want to say land-based, but may get on me a little bit. Maybe we'll say a 5.5 rating is a little too harsh on Bonucci, but you got to penalize somebody somewhere, am I right? Of course, he had the own goal, the big own goal. It was a hell of a shot. Hell of a shot. Unfortunately, it was the wrong goal, but it was a hell of a shot to score that goal. To level the game 1-1 not for Juventus, for Zenit overall. Luckily, it worked out. It wasn't anything that really Juventus fans had to sweat out at the end. But, got to talk about it. Overall, he had 3 clearances. He had 2 interceptions. He had 1 own goal, 3 aerial duels won. He had 6 accurate long balls. And like I said, overall, I'd probably give him a 6 if it weren't for that own goal. But you got to take a penalty. Or not a penalty, but you got to penalize him somewhere. Let's move on to Alexandro and his performance. Again, another solid, decent performer with the defense. A game of 6 overall rating. Nothing special, nothing to write home about. But really, it was just because it's Zenit. I'm not going to say it a million more times. That's what I have to say. Overall, we have 2 interceptions, 1 tackle, 3 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1 key pass, and 2 accurate long balls, and 2 successful dribbles as well. So decent performance from Alexandro. He remains our best option at left back. Obviously, the whole situation with Pellegrini, who just hasn't stepped up. Obviously, Pellegrini's not really on the roster when it comes to Champions League, but it is what it is. I don't know why. I probably didn't need to bring him up, but it just felt like it was necessary. All right, let's move on to our boy Federico Chiesa. And I gave Federico Chiesa a 7. I think overall we started to see little bits and flashes of what you want to see from Chiesa. I'll be honest though, again, a lot of these ratings come from a lot of the performances that happened in the second half, besides maybe Dybala, players like that, Bonucci, where it happened in the first half. But what I'm saying overall, a lot of these players' ratings, because if you look at Chiesa for most of the game, I'll be honest, when I watched it, I wasn't really impressed by a lot of what he did. It was more of the same, more of the unfortunate same. A lot of what I've seen from him the last, I don't know. I don't want to say just few games. It's been a while. He hasn't really got it going, got it rolling under Allegri. A lot of that has to do with injuries that have, affected the attackers that we have. Marata, Dybala being injured, Moise Kean being injured. He had to step up and move out of position where he's really comfortable. Today he was playing on the wing. So kind of have, I don't want to say no excuse, but you kind of have, that's what you want. That's where you want to be if you are Federico Chiesa. So overall, he had a better performance, and he was able to score that goal. We gave him a 7 rating. He had 1 goal. He had 2 accurate crosses, 1 accurate long ball, 3 shots on target, 4 shots off target. He had a lot of attempts, is what we're saying. But by the end of it, a lot of those attempts were pretty well taken in the I would say the final third of the match. He had 5 successful dribble attempts. He had 1 penalty won. He had 10 ground duels won. I know that penalty, a lot of people roll their eyes or whatever at it. Hey, it's the game. As long as they're going to call it and it's going to work, that's strategy, my guys. I don't know. That's what I say. Anyway, 10 ground duels won, 1 aerial duel won, and he had 1 interception and 1 tackle as well. Decent performance overall. Much better than what we're looking for from our guy Federico Chiesa. I want to see this more often from him. Let's move on to a guy who was, I would say most of the season been much maligned, but gotta give him another good performance from Weston McKennie. Obviously, I've been out of town for the last week, but the last 2 matches, even though they've been poor for Juventus, overall, Weston McKennie has stepped up and looked like a much better player. Obviously, we've talked about this a lot. When it comes to Weston McKennie, a lot of the reasons that he's had a lot of criticism, or it's been a little bit more harsh on him, is because, unlike last year, he wasn't finishing goals, and now he's finishing goals. Today, he didn't finish goals. He had a really big opportunity where he should have had one. Fortunately, balls around, whatever. It didn't work out for him, but he did so many other things today that I was really high on. He gets a 7 rating. We talked about it when Alejandro and I did with the show earlier, the immediate reaction, instant reaction, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of what he did was really attracting the attention of defenders, moving them away from the ball, moving them away from other guys to give them some space to open up and really be able to open those lanes up to move forward. Like to see that from him. Got to stay active, got to stay energetic. That's one of the things I talked about. Weston McKennie, he is a bulldog overall as a player. As long as he can play as a bulldog, jumping all over the place, cannonballing left and right all over the field, that's what we need. I don't know, cannonball maybe not the right term, but you know what I'm saying. He had 4 key passes. He had 6 accurate long balls. He had 1 shot on target, 2 shots off target. He had 1 successful dribble. He had 1 that hit the woodwork. 2 ground duels, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1 clearance, 2 interceptions, and 1 tackle. Overall, solid performance. Really good performance from Weston McKennie. One thing I will touch on before I move on to our next player. These are positive words. I'm an American. I like my boy Weston McKennie, but we got to be honest. I don't know that the recent play really makes that big of a difference when it comes to his future for Juventus. Maybe he's raising his statistics. Maybe he's raising his value for sale in the Mercado. I know I don't really need to touch on this right now, but I'm doing it anyway. We'll see what it means for his future. Maybe Allegri ends up changing his mind and liking him a bit more. I don't know how this will play out. But overall, when you have guys like, a Chouameni, I'll say Pogba, but come on, we'll see. I'm not gonna let myself dream. But overall, guys like that, you get those guys, even at the expense of McKennie. But I'm happy to see him putting in better performances as he has the last 3 games. Hopefully he can keep it up, especially if he gets to start against Fiorentina. Hopefully that'll be an option for him going there. Let's move on to Manuel Locatelli, the purchase over the summer, the midfielder who was most reliable, and he gets a 6 rating. And I'll be honest, this wasn't a great game from Manuel Locatelli. And when I say that, I'm not being overly harsh. I'm not saying it was a bad game. I'm just saying it was just kind of bleh. It was all right. It was serviceable. He had 1 key pass. He had 1 accurate cross. He had 7 accurate long balls, very solid. 1 shot blocked, 1 successful dribble, 3 ground duels, 1, no aerial duels, 1, and 1 interception and 1 tackle. I think it was just kind of blah, passe, whatever you want to say when it comes to him. Nothing overly bad, but just really, I expect more from him. I want more, him creating more. I thought maybe I had picked him when we did our preview to maybe score a goal today. I thought maybe it might be a good opportunity for him to get in there, especially get on the board, given what you're working with against Zenit. So it was just a little bit more of a quiet game. Maybe he needs a little bit more rest. We'll see. But like I said, nothing too terrible. A 6 is a solid rating. I expect more from Manuel Locatelli, and I'd like to see more, hopefully. Let's move on to a guy who I guess you could say performed better than what we're used to, and that is Federico Benideski. I gave him a 6.5 rating overall. He did good things. He did very good things as Bernardeschi. He was utilized in ways that he needed to be utilized. Not as goal scorer, not whatever. He's moving the ball around, creating an assist for Chiesa from Fede to Fede, scoring stuff like that. Important things that he can bring to the table when it comes there. Excuse me. I'm not going to edit that out. But anyway, he had 1 assist, 7 key passes. That's a big deal when you're Bernardeschi. I like to see that. For the people that are going to come at me and be like, you were wrong about Bernardeschi. No, I don't think this makes me wrong about Bernardeschi. This is 1 game. It's 1 game that's happening, and it's not. I wouldn't even say that this was a fantastic performance. It was just solid. It was really solid from Bernardeschi. Maybe it's better because all things equal, we rate Bernardeschi a little bit rougher than we do other players. Or actually, we're more lenient for him because when he does something good, it's almost a shock. Go figure. Anyway, 7 key passes, 5 accurate crosses. That's fine. Go attack me in the comments. It's fine. 1 accurate long ball, 3 shots on target, 2 successful dribbles, 3 ground duels, 1, 2 interceptions. And yeah, so solid performance overall from Bernardeschi. Juventus could use more activity like this. Again, I do want to set our standards a little bit, or not set our standards, but I do want to be realistic. Who are we playing today, guys? Say it back. Yeah, Zenit. That's who we're playing. We were not playing some of the better teams. We were not going against Inter, Milan, Napoli, whatever have you. This is Zenit. Let's be realistic. All right. Let's move on to Paulo Dybala, who to me was the man of the match. I gave him an overall 8 rating. I thought he did a very good performance overall for what we need, for what Juventus needs. You need an actual legit top tier striker. When I say top tier, let's slow our roll a little bit when I say that. What I mean is he's very, very good. Am I saying he's one of the best in the game right now? Come on. He's good. He's very good when he's clicking, but he's not one of the best in the world right now. Honestly, with injuries, we'll see what happens going forward. But 2 goals, obviously 1 a penalty that he got to retake after all the nonsense that happened there. But he had 1 assist, 3 shots on target, 5 shots off target. He had a lot of opportunities. To be honest, and I understand, like, I'm not going to dock him points or anything like that, rating points when it comes to this, but so many chances to score that unfortunately fell flat. He probably could have had, like I think even Julian said, he could have had 4 or 5 goals if we're being honest. Look at that, 5 shots on target, 3 shots on target. You could have had 4 or 5 goals. He had 4 successful dribbles. If he was hitting 4 or 5 goals, I know I'm going back to it. I'm just like, if he was hitting that many, then you'd be talking a little bit differently, and then I'd probably be a little bit extravagant with some of my praise on him that I'd probably have to walk back the next day. But anyway, solid, good, really good performance. One that hit the woodwork. I think I said 4 successful dribble attempts, 3 key passes, 2 accurate long balls, 2 big chances created, 5 ground duels, 1. Just a really good performance from my guy, Paulo Dybala. Hopefully we can get more of this. This is the guy we need to play for Juventus. This is, like I said, this is that cornerstone that that Allegri talked about that he really wants to hopefully build around going forward. Now we got to talk about Avano Marata. He's had a rough little patch throughout these last couple of matches, especially where they struggled in the Serie A against Verona, against Sassuolo. He didn't have a great first half. First half, he looked very pedestrian, if we're being honest. I gave him a 6 overall rating. He did score a goal today. And I don't want to downplay the goal, but can I be a little bit like, I don't want to say reality check guy, but like, it kind of does. Hear me out. Does this seem kind of like? And I've also been kind of a defender of Marata. Before I say this, and before you guys attack me, I've been a defender of Marata. I believe in him. I think he's a good player. I think he's better than a lot of people give him credit for. But he's been in a bit of a slump. He has some mental, emotional weak spots. I don't know why I'm going to that. That's not the important part. What I was trying to say though is the goal that he really got. Like, I don't want to say it was a garbage time goal, but it was a goal. Juventus was already up 3-1 at the time. I think Zenit was they knew the game was over. They were a bit defeated. You know, it's a little bit easier to let another goal slide away when you're just playing out the rest of your time. You're just trying to get on and move home. You know what's happening kind of situation. Still good. Still really good to finish and get that goal, but that's just my personal opinion on it. Let me know if you thoroughly disagree, if you think I'm just a hater, and I'm not. I really, really like Marata. I think he deserves more credit than he gets from a lot of fans. I think he gets way more hate than he deserves. But again, we got to be realistic. He had 1 goal. He had 1 shot on target, 2 shots off target, 1 big chance missed. He had 1 key pass. He had 1 accurate long ball, 2 aerial duels, 1. And he was, we got to say, because it's Marata, he had 2 offsides, so go figure. I had 1 clearance. So overall, like I said, not a bad performance. Of course, anytime you score a goal, it's a good day. So good game. Good job, Marata, getting that goal. Hopefully, you can continue on, be that 20 to 25 goal scorer that Juventus needs in all competitions. Then let's move on. And the final one, I know there were some guys that came in, and I was going to do this for fun, but Alejandro didn't make the graphic because he didn't want to let me have fun. I'm not going to rate Artur, not going to rate Kulusevski, not going to rate Rabiot, because they all came in the final 10 minutes or less of the game. They had less than really 10 minutes of play. What am I going to rate there? The only one I wanted to rate, I was going to rate just for fun. I know he gave, I think it was Marata who got the 0 last week from Alejandro. But I was going to give a 0 out, and that was going to be, of course, my forever punching bag, Daniele Rugani. He gets a 0 from me because literally he comes into the match and he gives up that goal. And of course, he's the defender on the ball. And, I don't know what else to say. It's always him. He's just a turnstile for goals. He just allows the attackers of the other team just to go right past him while he watches on. That's all I want to say. But anyway, just had someone to have some fun with that overall. The final. It was a like again, same with what I said about Morata's goal, kind of a garbage time goal overall. Let's rate the coach now. Overall, Max Allegri, he gets a 6 overall rating from me. Solid performance. You should beat Zenit by multiple goals as they did. Maybe give up less goals. Obviously, one of them was Bonucci's fault, so it's not really the defense. What's the defense's fault, but you know what I mean. What do we say about this Retiro? Or am I saying it right? Yeah. What are we thinking about this boot camp that Juventus did? Is it real? Did it happen? He's trying to downplay it a little bit right now. My point is a boot camp really necessary, or is it really something that you do before playing Zenit? And like, if it's 2 days of a boot camp, like, what are you really doing? I understand you got to buckle down and do it, and it just happens to be the time was that. But to be honest, if there was a boot camp, C+. I guess I didn't see anything. I mean, yes, okay. The second half was fine and it was good. The way those goals were scored, Dybala played really well. Marata got a goal. Yada, 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 yada. But I just don't know if I saw anything that really made me feel 100% that this is besides maybe Chiesa playing well or playing better. Benideski playing better today. I don't know how much I really put a lot of stock into it. I feel like the real test and the real proof of if this Retiro worked or if this is a real thing will be on Saturday against Fiorentina, who, of course, we know Juventus has slipped up against Fiorentina, and they can, for some reason, the last couple of years, we know Comiso, we know how they feel about Juventus, but overall, it's a situation that'll really be a good measuring stick of where Juventus can be going into the international break, the holidays, and then into obviously the winter transfer mercato. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how they play. Hopefully, they'll get those 3 points. They'll handle Fiorentina and Dusan Vlahovic. Call me. Anyway, but we'll see how that works out overall. But again, I give him a 6 rating. Solid performance. Not anything super impressive, but solid. I think it was good. It was good. I know. Crush me in the comment section. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate it. Those are my player ratings. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section down below. Obviously, feel free to lambaste me with how wrong I am and how stupid I am for my comments. I don't know the sport. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine too. But I appreciate you guys as always. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in winning ways, and hopefully we can continue this going into the transfer market. Or not transfer market, sorry. As we can go into the weekend and the international break. Anyway, guys, we appreciate it. Make sure you please hit that like button if you like the video, if you like the content that we're doing here. It really helps our channel with the algorithm. It helps us grow and reach more Juventus fans and really develop a bigger community with the guys that we have here. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, join our community and what we have here, as well as make sure you hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Make sure you follow Bianconeri Zone and myself on all platforms, including Twitter. We leave it down. Let me see. Can I do it? Right here. Yeah, Julian Ginotti's here. He's at Ginotti151. I'm at Justin Sofer on Twitter. And then, of course, at Bianconeri Zone and at Alejandro BZ on Twitter as well. We'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.